You.
Alright.
I need water. Wait, I need water.
I start. Alright. Alright, let me wait for Humphrey. Humphrey would go get water when I start.
3, 2, I need some water.
Thanks, Sean.
Parched.
I'll be ready, Sean, because I started the thing. So this whole thing's been recording.
Oh.
Oh, that's not my fault.
It is. You was like, water! Alright, so, alright, ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christmas, you guys.
Shut up and let's do
Alright. Welcome to Blerd Culture issue number 7! Alright, Little Richard. Where nerd is the new black. I'm Troy, and I'm joined by my 2 co-hosts, Ethan.
How's it going, peoples?
And Sean.
Just play your video game.
Join us as we discuss with Lana Del Rey the blurtiest topics on bi-speaking basis. This week is our Ethy extravaganza!
Video games and things. Woo!
We get one of these each week now. So awesome. Yeah, you heard it. It's this past week's marked another successful venture into the Electronic Entertainment Expo with a buttload of games and virtual reality to show for it. We're going to talk about each panel, what surprises, and conceive a plan to get into it next year by the end of the show. So stay tuned. Also, if you like what we were talking about, but you don't like what we're talking about, we have timestamps in the description. Make sure you just go through, figure out which number you want to talk about, then bow. Skip forward. There's a 15-second button, or scroll through like you would regularly. But hopefully you guys enjoy the show. And for now, we will start with the Character Chronicles, where each week we'll give a bio on an important character and the impact they've made in the medium, whether it be in TV, comics, or video games. So I'm going to start it off. All right. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. Things I teach you and show to beat you, but nevertheless you get a lesson to teach you. Now kick!
Kick. Punch!
All right. Since Sony has such a fantastic showing at this year's E3, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite retro characters, Parappa the Rapper, a 2D beanie-wearing beagle in a 3D world who faced challenges and knew the only way he could overcome each was through the power of hip-hop. Parappa the Rapper was released in 1996 to critical acclaim, and sales only led to a spin-off starring his sister, Jammerlammy, I'm not making that name up, and a sequel which is now available on the PS4 Marketplace. Go check it out. Perhaps learn plenty of lessons through this game, such as cooking, driving, how to take down evil corporations trying to rid the world of music, knitting, and love. Normal stuff. The entire time shouting, "You gotta believe," which I'm sure Naruto and WWE's Roman Reigns jacked from him. Otherwise, the Raptacular K9 had a wide vernacular with rhymes, bars, and should be respected as one of the greats. Surely would be in the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop next to Biggie, Tupac, and Meghan Trainor. I'm out! And that is our Character Chronicle. And now for Planet Bugle. This is the latest news and rumors in the entertainment industry, handed to us by Perry Wright. And we are getting right down to it with Donald Glover, cast in Spider-Man Homecoming. Everybody give it up. Give it up for him.
Hey, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
Right.
Hey.
Earlier this week, it was announced that the most childish of Gambino shall enjoy the super diverse cast that is Spider-Man, terrible subtitle. I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming. The significance behind this was many years ago, before Spider-Man was rebooted with Andrew Garfield, there was a huge petition to get Sir Glover to helm the role, so for it to come together full circle with the third reboot is certainly amazing, Spider-Man. What do you guys think of it?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm a little bit bitter that he won't be playing Miles Morales, as we so much wanted, and it's a tiny bit of like a consolation prize, but I'll take it. I'll take Donald Glover in any movie about anything.
We know.
So for it to be the Spider-Man movie is just even better than I could ever ask for.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm very kind of on both sides of the situation, where it does feel consolation prizey in terms of them choosing him as essentially as a side character.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do have to give credit where credit is due, and it does look like they are making this film incredibly diverse.
Yes.
We still always need more movies, television shows, with diverse people leading them, but we don't know what his role is, and so I'm very excited into finding out who Donald Glover will play. It's a bit obvious, but I am leaning towards Harry, just because I feel like they can kind of change up the dynamic
That'd be cool.
a bit more than the previous James Franco. And I feel like he would be able to bring something else to the character that probably nobody else could. I don't know. I feel like Donald Glover and his acting and his comedy and his style is very singular. So I'm happy that he's cast in this movie for multiple reasons.
Yeah. Go ahead, Troy.
I just want him to be in the trilogy. I don't want him to be in else.
Yeah.
As long as he gets that trilogy money, I'm cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him as Harry Osborn. My only concern is that he's considerably older than the actor playing Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So, I mean, like Ethan said, if they change up that dynamic, it could work fine. I mean, I don't care. I'm not a purist the way a lot of people are.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the more changes that they make to this Spider-Man, the better. We've literally seen this story 10,000 times. So I feel like at this point, as much as I can be a purist for my own, DC comic franchises, we haven't had as many opportunities as, say, a Spider-Man has. And therefore, I feel like now it's definitely time to break new ground, try something different, and it looks like they are taking the first steps in doing so with this cast.
Yes, and just so you guys are aware, Harry Osborn is the Green Goblin's son, popular from the first Spider-Man movie, just so you just basically, that's from my mom when she listens to this. Son of Norman Osborn, but yes.
The guy James Franco played.
All for it. Please, more Donald Glover and more things, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the times.
So,
I agree.
all right, and but this also means the soundtrack is going to be lit now because
I refuse to be in any movie that is not lit.
Cool. Now for Save Point, which we'll do a little different this week with our E3 extravaganza info. We'll tackle each conference, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, and then later we'll just do our honorable mentions for games. I'll start first with the Microsoft Xbox conference. Microsoft's conference this year was a regular Microsoft conference. Nothing too earth-shattering with them as they played to what made them big in the first place. Graphical improvements. I'm kidding.
Shade.
With this show, they revealed a Play Anywhere option, a new purchasing system where you'll be able to play your games on Xbox and Microsoft 10 as long as you buy it digitally. So one purchase gets you. One purchase.
Did you just say Microsoft 10?
Is it Microsoft 10?
Windows 10?
Windows 10. Well, it's just plain whatever. They should probably just call it. Okay. New custom controllers that will go for $80. You'll be able to choose a color scheme and engrave your name in said remote. You can make it like a rainbow one. You can make it based off the Power Ranger. It does not matter. And Project Scorpio, which will be their next system to be released at the end of next year. They had a weird idea of revealing it. It was at the very end of the show. I honestly think they probably should have just left it alone. But they were like, they had this, like, 8 people talk about the system, and they were like, there's going to be 8 teraflops of space to back up the. I thought it was 8. Is it 6? Okay, well, either way, I thought when he said teraflops, it's like he made that word up. That's not a word.
So he actually didn't make that word up. It is a word that's used in the tech industry, but the consensus is that it doesn't have a whole lot of meaning.
Here's the other thing. Why do I need to know that? But let me not. All right, so he's like teraflops of speed. There's 4K display on every single part of the system. We have backup and 2 engines. I'm like, you guys are describing a computer. You're selling me a computer at this point. I don't know where we're going around now where we're trying to play this off as a console, but this is computer. But besides that, no shade, I apologize. They also showed some exclusives. There was a Gears of War demo, Gears of War number 4 demo, Scalebound, Recore, Sea of Thieves, Return of Dead Rising, and Grand Horizon Forza Turismo 3. It's a real game. It's not based off of anything. It's its own unique thing. But yeah, no. Overall, the showing was
weak. It was weak. I don't care about. Honestly, like, I am probably the biggest Xbox apologist you'll find, and their showing was weak. I'm not impressed. I knew about Project Scorpio several weeks ago. There was nothing exciting about it yet, only because it doesn't exist yet. And then on top of that, Project Scorpio is likely going to bring about sort of a division between the people who can afford the new Xbox One and the people who are sticking with the old Xbox One, because I feel like what's going to happen is developers are going to start to target the higher end hardware, and they're going to be able to do a lot more. Which, I mean, fine. The games will look better, and they'll maybe play a little bit better on the Scorpio. But what's going to happen is that we're going to get a situation where they're not even trying to make the game, fun on the lower end systems, because they're going to be wanting you to play them on the highest end version. So I'm not really here for it, but I'm also going to buy it. So let's be real.
So then I'm here for it, but I'm not happy about it.
My whole thing is like for them to try to for their idea of thinking, oh, this is how we beat PlayStation is by just making a better system. Like, no, you guys made the same system this time around, and PlayStation just beat you because they knew how to market it better. So why don't you try something different?
I mean, but the thing is that Sony's doing the same thing. They just didn't officially announce it, the PlayStation Neo. So it's the same thing. They're doing exactly the same thing. The difference is that this time around, Microsoft is probably going to have Sony beat on the hardware end. Sony's PS4 is slightly better than the Xbox One, enough to give better graphics and slightly better performance. So we'll see. Microsoft's goal is to beat Sony this time. The problem is that they've now shown their hand, and Sony's going to know what they need to do to try to match it. So we'll see.
Yeah, just on their game, really, the games that they showed really quick, the exclusive ones, because a lot of the games that they were showing were also eligible for PlayStation 4, which was like, this is a very weird marketing move. And the whole idea that, oh, the DLC will be here 30 days before PlayStation. Who cares? Yeah. I will never care about whose DLC gets for the game. I want the game exclusivity. Give me that, and that makes me buy your system. Not that I get to pay more for a game to play it before the other people get to play. Like, what? All right, but anyhow, the game that kind of fell off for me because I was excited for it last year, but then this one, I looked at it, I'm like, okay. Scalebound. It involves a guy who looks like Dante from Devil May Cry's illegitimate child. He has a dragon. So their big pull this year was, oh, there's going to be co-op multiplayer of 4 people taking down monsters. Significantly, basically saying, hey, we are completely ripping the idea of Monster Hunter from Nintendo. And what makes it worse is that the characters aren't even unique to themselves. It's just you playing as a main character in 4 different outfits. Yeah. And then they had some weird, like, this idea that EDM drum and bass music makes him a better fighter. And usually I'm for that idea, music, but it's like the most generic, freaking 2004 D&B like type thing where I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not now. I don't want to buy the game anymore. Recore looked dope. Recore is developed by the guy who created Metroid Prime, I believe. And they didn't show enough of it for me, but it looked beautiful. Sea of Thieves was actually kind of cool too. Sea of Thieves was basically an idea of a first-person MMO pirate, where you assemble a crew, you get on a pirate ship, you can go across any type of lands, you can battle other people, you can find treasure, basically build up like your own Pirates League. I thought that idea was cool. I wish it was in third person, but that's just me. I don't like first person stuff. I don't get the idea of customizing my character for not to be seen, but regular complaints.
That's the whole reason I can't play Overwatch.
Yeah, and I want it so bad, but I'm like, I'm gonna suck at this game, so I don't want to touch it. But overall, Microsoft 6 out of 10 for me.
Really? A 6? I would give it like a 4.5, to be honest with you.
I mean, I was still impressed by like how Gears of War looked, and then at least they're trying something with the Sea of Thieves, the games. But the custom, I'm definitely gonna buy the custom controller, and I'm definitely
the controller is the big one.
I'm gonna have a Nightwing colored controller. The idea that I can make that as a possibility. And then, I'm sorry, last complaint. All right, so the Windows 10 Play Anywhere thing. The idea, when they said that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But then it triggered to me, I don't have a $2,000 computer where I can just play, where it would matter that I could play this game anywhere. Because I don't have what's the anywhere part? Literally, my computer that I own is
I
in
mean,
the room with the Xbox that I own. So
not
why would I?
not necessarily. So Sony has this functionality also, and I just used it the other day to play a PS4 game. While I was at my PS4, which was in Baltimore, at my parents' house in Delaware on my MacBook. And it was decent. It wasn't the best. The graphical fidelity was a little bit low, but the performance was fine. You're not going to be playing like a first-person shooter, competitive or anything like that because it's going to be
Gotcha. But just for you, like your single player.
It functions well enough to use. It's nice to have, but it's not something you're going to be using all the time. Certainly not when you're at home.
Cool. Well, I mean, I guess I can't knock it till I try it, but for me, I was like, that just sounds expensive.
No, you don't need to get it. You don't need to spend an obscene amount of money on a computer. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. PC gaming is unnecessarily expensive, and I don't support it.
It's more like a lifestyle.
It is.
You kind of have to dedicate yourself.
There's a thing called PC Master Race, and it's like
that sounds like it's made up by white people. All right.
I mean,
all right. And they like the Master Race is like caps lock. All right. So that's all for our Xbox section.
All right, next up is Sony's PlayStation event, where they showed a whole lot more than Microsoft did this year. So not a bunch of hardware stuff this year, but they did show a ton of VR with their upcoming Sony VR system. The most significantly for me was some Batman Arkham VR announcement, which looks, I don't know, the trailer showed absolutely nothing. Final Fantasy 15 VR, which looks like a joke because you play as probably the worst character in the game.
Clown.
And actually, Call of Duty showed some cool VR stuff, and I've never been interested in a Call of Duty. So that looks pretty dope.
They were smart about that because they didn't show that it was Call of Duty until that demo.
I would have ignored it if it said Call of Duty at the beginning.
I was like, yo, this is lit. And it was like Call of Duty. I was like, you got me.
It almost looks like a new Halo or something like that. But anyway, they also showed some cool exclusives like Days Gone, which is an upcoming zombie survival game similar to Dead Rising, a new God of War game, Horizon Zero Dawn, the worst title of a game ever, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
That's the best. I don't get Dream Drop Distance.
Well, this particular title actually includes Dream Drop Distance in it. So, some more exclusives were The Last Guardian, which is the long-awaited game from the creator of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, an amazing-looking Spider-Man game. Resident Evil, which I'm good. I'm not playing that. Crash Bandicoot is coming back. Some remasters of the first 3 games are coming back, and he is also joining Skylanders, which is pretty cool. Crash Bandicoot is the greatest Bandicoot in the world, I guess. I don't know if there are any other famous ones.
There's so many other Bandicoots.
And finally, the game Death Stranding, which is Hideo Kojima's upcoming game. It's his first game since his departure from Konami, and he straight up stole Norman Reedus for the game, which is hilarious to me.
Yes.
So I think the biggest game. Oh wait, I forgot one. My bad. Detroit: Become Human, which is if you've ever played Heavy Rain or Until Dawn, it's that sort of game where basically you're making decisions. It's an interactive movie basically where you're making decisions to determine the story that happens, the progression of the story. So that's the biggest one that I'm excited about. I don't really know why they didn't show a whole lot except that you play as an android, one of a selection of androids, and you just make these crazy decisions that stop other androids from hurting each other and killing each other, and you can save like cute little kids from being dropped off the edge of buildings, which is, that's not good. So we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Population of kids.
Troy, I think you wanted to talk about Days Gone. That looks exciting, and I'm also not playing that.
Yes. So heart attack inducing Days Gone was shown as the button at the end of the conference. I showed it to my mom the other day just because I wanted to see her
Wow.
reaction. I was like, because literally the best person to watch anything with is my mom. My mom has the best reactions. You think she's in the movie or in the game as it's going
She
on.
does. I will attest to this.
But no, Days Gone is basically, if you've ever watched World War Z, this is if they made a
that's
game
good
based on that.
comparison.
There's like the amount of zombies that are on screen at one time is like this astound. It's an astounding feat that they were able to find. Now me, I'll never play that game. I will never play that game by myself unless they talk about in a few months that there's gonna be a multiplayer component or Sean or Ethan are here constantly as
Yeah.
I play it.
I was gonna say I'll play it with somebody sitting in the room with me.
Yes,
That's
but
about it.
I will never play that game by myself. Oh my gosh. You play as the character who I believe the actor playing it was the same guy who was in that Star Wars game, that solo Star Wars game like half a decade ago, where you
Okay.
decided to be a Jedi or a Sith, like through all decisions, and it was like Mass Effect for Star Wars. It's kind of cool.
Was that a Knights of the Old Republic? That one?
It wasn't Knights of the Old Republic. It was I forgot. It's gonna come to me.
Knights of the Old Republic is literally like Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's
by the way.
But yeah, Days Gone. It was just scary, like the fear. Like usually zombies at night, scary, but this is zombies at daytime, just as scary.
The scariest thing in the world to me, first of all, I love zombies, and I loved zombies long before the entirety of the world decided that zombies were the coolest thing ever. My dad got me into zombies when I was little when he showed me Night of the Living Dead, and it changed my life and scared the crap out of me.
No
But
pops.
the thing that is scarier than anything, in my opinion, is a running zombie. A fast zombie is not even fair because, like, slow zombies are already dangerous in numbers, and then you get like just hundreds of them, and they're all fast, and they're just like moving like a wave. And oh my god!
And it
wasn't even nighttime in the freaking trailer. It was the day. I'm not. Nope.
No, good shot. I mean, honestly, I thought this was like when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is Last of Us 2. Oh, it's not.
That's what it looked like at first. It was very similar. It was starring a guy from a motorcycle gang. Probably a play on Hell's Angels or something. But
Sons of Anarchy.
So yeah, that too. Quickly, I did want to talk about the Spider-Man game really quick.
Yeah.
Spider-Man game, when they showed that was the only game I jumped for excitement for. I don't know why, but I loved Spider-Man games back when they were like good. This one is the reason why this is amazing is this is made by Insomniac Games. Insomniac has a very dope track record. The year before last, they made this awesome game called Sunset Overdrive on Xbox. It's really underrated, but like the colors in it and like the idea of making it cartoony, they can tell like they're really going to try hard at this game. And that one looked so amazing. The suit.
They also don't forget they also are responsible for Ratchet and Clank, which has been a long-running series, and it's still just got a movie. Like it's doing so well.
Yes, and the suit a little different. They added some white in the infamous spider emblem, but it still has a regular, the natural red and blues to it. I like the suit. A lot of people didn't like the suit. I love it. I thought the suit. The white is a different touch. I kind of like that they tried that. But I'm sure with them and usually with every Spider-Man game, they're going to have different costumes. I did read earlier that it has nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now it might come out at the same time as a game, but it has nothing like no ties to the story or anything like that.
Good, because these movie games are always so bad. Just let them be standalone. They don't need to tie in. I don't need tie-ins. I'm smart. I can put things together on my own.
Nobody gets anything from a tie-in video game.
I will say except Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, that's the best.
That to me is the last good Spider-Man game. Troy, you said you played another one a couple of years ago. I forget what it was called.
Web of Shadows. Spider-Man Web of Shadows. And that one was fun. Yeah. But no, Spider-Man 2 is the best movie game of all time.
Absolutely. Hold on. Don't forget about the joke. Because I know you want to talk about the joke that was the Final Fantasy 15 VR.
Oh my gosh! All right, bro. So I can tell Square Enix was told like a year ago, hey, you've been working on this game for like 20 years. You can also add VR to it if you want to. I'm not sure. No, add VR to it, and that's what this game was that they showed, where you play a gunner, and like they were trying to be so cool about it. They're like, you can teleport to another area to shoot, and another area. Like, no, just give it a don't. I don't need that for VR. I really don't need. And it looked I mean, they had to tone down the graphics too. Like, no, like, now obviously this is a money grab. Like, you can tell that when I already think what they're doing already. I'm not gonna rant about it. I'm sorry.
Not to mention, like anybody who is well versed in Final Fantasy games knows that the gunner class is very rarely very useful, because they don't deal any damage. And then also this character that you're playing as in VR is so annoying. Like I haven't even played that game yet, and I don't want to deal with him.
And I can tell the people that are like so heavy. Oh, this is an amazing thing. Like, no, you're just a super hardcore Final Fantasy stan. I get it. You'll buy anything. Like, I'll do that for anything Super Smash Brothers. Like, I played that terrible party mode that they had in this one. I was like, no, this is something you got. It wasn't. It was terrible, but I got it because I love Super. So I get it if you want to play that game. But for me, that's a reach. That is a reach as far as VR goes.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, well, what did you want to rate the conference, Humps?
I give it like an 8. I would have given honestly I would have given it a higher score if I know they didn't want to show the PS4 Neo because basically they were tricked Microsoft into showing their hand, and Microsoft was pretty down for that. But if they had at least acknowledged it, because they've already acknowledged it publicly, but if they acknowledged it on the stage, that would have just made it that little bit better to me. I don't know. I like new hardware even though I'm mad about buying it.
All right, so cool.
Well, moving on to Nintendo E3 news. Treehouse Live section, y'all. Grab your sleeping bags. Grab your s'mores. It's time for a sleepover.
Do we have like a crickets sound effect?
That would be mean and appropriate. So yeah, most of it, honestly, as a Nintendo fan stan, it was lackluster. Not gonna lie. I mean, Monster Hunter Generations, your usual suspects of Mario Party Star Rush, Paper Mario Color Splash, Rhythm Heaven, Megamix, blah blah blah. The killer apps, of course, was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which more like Breath of My Life, because
Breath of fresh air.
Breath of fresh air, yes, exactly what I needed. Yeah, this game looks so amazing. I'm gonna probably go on record, like to be honest, I don't think that a Zelda game since Ocarina of Time has ever surpassed that. I didn't even really fully enjoy Majora's Mask because Ocarina was so good.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like Breath of the Wild might take the title, which has been years and years, just because like I enjoyed Twilight Princess, the functionality and everything was cool. But it's still like I still didn't get that magic that I got from Ocarina, which of course is hard to do when you kind of go from 2D to 3D. It's just like with Super Mario 64, it's still considered one of the best platformers to date.
Yes.
Also, the next probably biggest game there, aside from Pokemon Sun and Moon, but there weren't a lot of big news concerning that. Just a few more Pokemon from the beginning of the storyline. But Pokemon Go, the features and functionality, that was a major point of it. There wasn't a lot of new gameplay about it, but in terms of the functionality and the price point and the release date of the Pokemon Go Plus, which is the add-on, this wearable accessory that can allow you to catch Pokemon without you having to take out your phone, was announced to be also released sometime in July. Whereas previously, we didn't know when the release date was. I'm kind of feeling like this is like Nintendo putting some pressure on Niantic, which is the developer of this game, to like put it out ASAP. But either way, we're going to get it, so that's awesome. So yeah, so overall, Nintendo didn't have a lot, and I'm also like pissed off at the fact that the NX, which is their upcoming system, there's still like no word of it. And like I get that Nintendo is playing their own game, they're only like playing with themselves, but they still need it. I didn't mean it like that, or did I? But at the same time, like I'm not even talking about like competing with PlayStation and Xbox, because let's be serious for 5 seconds. But like in terms of giving back to the fans just a bit more. Yeah. But once again, Zelda and Pokemon Go were definitely the highlights of it. So, what were your thoughts?
Um,
No thoughts.
I can't wear that. I can't do that Pokemon Go wearable. I can't wear it.
I'm wearing it. That thing looks
I'm
cool.
wearing
I can't.
I can't. I have no shame in the game.
It's not
And
even the shame. I just think it's ugly.
It's like a Pokeball. I don't know why.
I thought it looked cool. I was surprised. I mean, because initially when I heard it, I didn't realize that attachment was gonna come with it for $35, which ain't bad. For a game I'm gonna be playing the rest of my life. But I was very surprised that they announced that this was coming out next month. I did not think we were getting it this year, honestly.
Yeah, I fully believe that Shigeru Miyamoto had, Nintendo as a whole had no intention of saying this information, but someone asked them a question, and he just kind of like said it.
Shigeru's probably tired because they gave him like the whole spiel, like don't say this, and don't say that, and don't say that. I made this company. I can say what I want.
Watch me. Back. That's what I feel like happened. I feel like they were going to maybe wait like a couple of weeks, see where they were, and then announced if it was going to come in July or at a later date. But he definitely kind of shot the gun quickly on that situation, which I'm happy for. Like I feel like we've waited long enough, and I don't think it should come in that closely next to Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is coming November. So I'm going to need my Pokemon fixed before Sun and Moon comes out. So
yeah, honestly, Pokemon Go is the closest we're ever going to get to the Pokemon game we've been asking for years. And so I've just always wanted an MMO Pokemon game. That is the one place where I would be happy to play an MMO.
Console.
It makes sense. Yeah, on a console, not like just so I can see it just big. You know what I mean? Just on my big TV and like enjoy it in its full gorgeous graphical.
And then
beauty.
have my stuff transferred over to the 3DS, so when I'm playing out and about,
boom.
Exactly, it's a continuing experience. And Troy, like I used to tell him my whole concept of a Pokemon MMO that was actually not even turn-based, but one where you could even control the Pokemon themselves and attack. Not saying that would have to be the one that happens, but this is way back in like the Dreamcast era.
Oh my God, the greatest era of all time.
Right?
Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure. Okay. That sounds
Jack
right.
Radio.
But yeah, I too, would have preferred and wished for more of a Pokemon MMO. And this definitely feels like a bit of a short change because it's not a full Pokemon RPG experience. Like, for example, you are catching multiple Pokemon in order to like get Pokemon candies, which then have them evolve. And it's very much about like going out and catching Pokemon, like, got to catch them all, like that whole thing. And when I was growing up, and still to this day, like I'm not really about catching every single Pokemon because I don't like every single Pokemon. I want my favorite ones, and the other ones can kick rocks. But
they can kick Geodudes.
Yes, they can kick Geodudes.
Oh my gosh.
It's all of them.
I'm sorry, that was terrible.
But overall, I think it's a very cool concept of being able to go out to different lands. If you're by water, you'll come across more water.
I thought that was dumb.
Wait, I didn't know that. I missed that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's definitely like giving you that real world experience. Like it showed Horsey by like this shore during the gameplay footage. And like there's this rumor that like only Kangaskhan will be in Australia. I'm not saying that's true, but I think like having Kangaskhan's in more like sandy areas and such. So when you go maybe across country, you'll come across different Pokemon that aren't in your specific region, which I think is a very cool attribute to have.
Well, that's cool up until you get the kids trying to go in caves to find a Mewtwo.
Or the middle of the street with a car coming. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like it occurred to me that like little kids are gonna be trying to like step on the freeway because they see a Moltres across the street. You know what I mean? Like,
going in the national forest to find a Snorlax, like.
Yeah, that wasn't an R canine. That was a real canine.
Now, what I think one of the things that I like most about the potential of this game is that it might force people to get off their butts and like do
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? Outside.
That's actually their whole point, and
Yeah.
the developers were talking about how they were trying to just make it very interactive, very active in general, in terms of even making the music upbeat in order to foster kind of more of an active walking lifestyle of going to different places, and that's also why they didn't want to set it up as your typical standard RPG because they wanted like a constantly moving game. Whereas
Mhm.
if you catch one Pokemon, you're probably just going to be sitting in one space trying to train it for it to become stronger. Whereas they
Yeah.
are trying to make you go to different locations, catch more Pokemon, have them evolve, but it's all about movement.
Hmm.
The other
Oh,
thing that they pointed out was that it's going to essentially begin with the Kanto region Pokemon, which is the original red and blue version, and then as time goes on, it's going to go to generation 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eventually Sun and Moon. Which
hey.
they mentioned some functionality, they didn't say what, and I'm not really quite sure what that could even be. But
Mhm.
when Sun and Moon comes out, there will be some connection between those two.
Nice.
I'm gonna try recreate my original starting spot.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember it was Charmander, Sandslash, Pikachu.
Of course you like Sandslash. That's such a
Yes,
Pokemon you would
he was
pick.
so cool, yo. He was like a desert ninja. He was so
Yeah,
cool.
of
And then
course
when
you
I
would
got
pick
oh, and then when I got Scythe, oh my god. Quickly back on Zelda really quick. So the coolest thing about the Zelda is that they wanted to go back into the grassroots of the game. The original Zelda on NES, you could take Link, and go anywhere in the world, right?
Hmm.
So what they did with this demo when they were showing it live is that they started you in this area, and somebody was saying that no matter who was playing, everybody kept going in different directions. So there's no linear game. Like you
that.
can,
Yeah.
there is a story that you can go through, but you can actually just decide to, hey, I just want to go in this part of the world or that part of the world. And the world is 12 times bigger than Twilight Princess,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is insane to me.
That's
Uh,
hard. That's hard for me to even fathom.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
they always got some weird, like they only let Shigeru and the guy who I think his name escapes me right now, but the guy who created Zelda, these extra hidden features that the Wii U can unlock for Ultimate Space. While everyone else gets to make these small games like Mario Tennis and stuff.
That's all you get.
I hope the NX is like. I hope they if nothing else, I hope it at least produces graphics on par with the other systems. I understand Nintendo doesn't want to do what everybody else is doing, but at a certain extent, you have to like put on your big boy draws and say, "I got to do what I got to do." You know, you know
Yeah,
what I
just as
mean?
far if like they don't need to do what the Project Scorpio and Neo are doing, right? If they just make it,
Exactly.
if like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 graphics are great to me. I think
Hmm.
there don't need to be any after that. After I see like what they did with the Division and Uncharted and stuff like that is fine. I'm fine with that, dealing with that the rest of my life. Just make these unique experiences with these games, which Nintendo is known for doing, but just have
Yeah.
the graphical. And I mean, the cool thing about this Zelda Breath of the Wind is that it's going to be
Wow.
released on. Oh wow! You know why I keep saying Breath of the Wind? I keep thinking the
Nina
color of the
Simone.
Wind. No, I keep thinking the color of the
Oh.
wind by Pocahontas.
Land we land on.
That cue was perfect. That cue was
It's just a dead thing you can
and
claim.
scene. Anyhow, the reason why I was saying, the reason why I feel as though I lost thought.
How high?
Forget it. But anyhow, but the NX is supposed to be. I mean, they're releasing the NX and the Wii U at the same time. So I'm assuming, I'm hoping that there's a big graphical like the difference between the two with the NX. But we'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
Yeah,
Let's cross our fingers.
we'll do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Last thing I guess about Zelda Breath of the Wild that I wanted to point out was that the interactivity might be the most fascinating aspect of this game, but how
Mm,
you can steal the weapons of goblins, throw weapons, use
mm,
goblin clubs, cut down a tree to cross a gap, and I
mm,
just feel like this will add a new dimension to the Zelda franchise. That it seems small, but like being able to like climb a tree means that like
mm.
tactically you might be able to see further out onto the vista, and then
Yeah.
perhaps plan your attack more, shoot an arrow instead of going face to face with it, push a boulder down mountainside in order to take out your enemies. It just opens up a very wide array of possibilities.
I seen the demo where.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's very, very appealing to me because the one thing that's been kind of off-putting about Zelda for me always is I've always felt like there was a lack of options for fighting, and that's growing now, and so I'm glad that, see, that's a place where Nintendo is saying, okay, the world is changing, people are expecting different things from games, let's give them more than one way to play. So I love that.
Right, yeah, because this truly feels like an open world. They said that if you see something, you can go to it, which is a very big step for Nintendo as a whole.
Yeah, I did see like one thing where he was fighting one of the enemies, and they dodged out the way, and when he dodged, he hit a pot. The pot broke, and he was able to use a piece of the pot to shield. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And you can boil food.
Oh yes,
boil food.
Yes, via the pot.
Kirby's adventures in the game as well. So, E, what would you rate the conference overall?
I would give it a 7 out of 10. I'm being a little nice, just because I feel like Breath of the Wild really struck me as a game that I would purchase a system for. I mean, I'm going to get it anyway. I mean, it's the only place I can get like Super Smash Brothers and such.
Nice.
Pokemon Go, once again, it definitely stands out for me as a game that has so much potential, and what they announced for it was more than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So overall, yeah, I think a 7 is somewhat fair.
Okay. Cool.
Good score.
Now, for honorable mentions, these are the games that weren't specifically for a platform, but ones we just wanted to talk about. First, let's talk about Injustice 2, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it made me so happy. There's just like, first off, the graphical overhaul, the idea that we're getting a huge roster this time, with the introduction of Atrocitus, which surprised me, and Supergirl. I thought the Supergirl the knob was cool. The graphical, I was watching this interview with Ed Boon, how he's talking about competitive play and the idea of how they're going to fix these specials, because a lot of the complaints for the last game was that the specials were cool, but when you do it competitively, they're too long. Some of the moves take, so he shortened them down, but still made them just as cool. What do you guys think?
I'm not a big fighting game person, and I actually never even played the first Injustice. But what I did do was watch a lot of people playing them online, because I really like how the battle system looks, and most especially I love the super attacks. The effort they put into creating these entirely unique special attacks that are just devastating is so impressive to me, and it's on par with movie production. So I'm very excited to see where they go in Injustice 2.
Yeah, definitely to echo what's been said before. Injustice 2 looks really amazing. The roster especially, I'm so very happy that they expanded it. I did not expect Atrocitus, but I think that's really awesome for the kind of Green Lantern.
The cat is with them. How cool is that?
Right. The evil angry cat. If you don't know, Atrocitus is a Red Lantern, much like how Green Lantern has willpower, Red Lantern has anger, i.e. hatred, hence the red. Also, the special attacks look amazingly ridiculous. Aquaman's especially, I was like, okay, so from this point on, after the Aquaman film, we see freaking Drogo, as Aquaman. Like, there's no more making fun of this man, because that was awesome.
I feel like that's just the goal now, is they're trying to be like, no, but for real, listen, Aquaman is dope, I promise.
Right.
Super Friends was 80 years ago, you guys. 80 years ago.
Yes, I mean, I loved Injustice 1. I feel like this one, hands down, looks better already. I'm very happy with the inclusion of Supergirl as well. I think with her TV show, they definitely need to up her profile. DC hasn't really taken advantage of that, but now it looks like they are making progress into doing so. So I'm super excited for Injustice 2.
Then we had Watch Dogs 2 with a new protagonist. Thank God, his name is Marcus. It's another. If you get a black protagonist in these games, you guys, we out here.
And he's a Blerd because he's a hacker.
This is true. This one is based in San Francisco as opposed to the first one's Chicago Stay Home. It looked really cool. I mean, I initially was like, there ain't no way in the world I'm about to buy this game again after they tricked me with that first movie. But that trailer and the 15 minutes of gameplay they showed about like hacking and having a drone and him knowing parkour and stealth and the new fighting engine that they're using, I thought that game looked amazing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I was going through watching like all the trailers and such, and I could not leave Watch Dogs 2. I just got super invested in it. I don't know if it's because I'm like a Mr. Robot obsessed fan,
Yeah.
but this whole like hacking experience mixed with your open world Grand Theft Auto, technology, all these things combined into what's become a very fascinating concept for me. And the level of detail that they put into everything is just super impressive. From
Yes.
the animations of his parkour techniques to his clothing to his style to how they changed him from the previous character. This is a game that I'm completely on board. Also, sorry to cut myself off. The online capabilities of having it so that it's like this real world environment, because the NPCs essentially live their own world. And then like it's up to you to kind of interact with it. Like the developers mentioned, like how a dog would chase someone else, and not just you, so that it doesn't feel like the world revolves around you, just like in real life, except for myself, of course. And so when people are in the game that are playing online, you can interact with them and kind of see if they want to join your particular crusade or battle. And sometimes there are in-game events as well. And I just think that the possibilities are endless, and even the things of the drone and being able to see inside someone's home, it almost feels like a modern Metal Gear Solid mixed with like your Grand Theft Auto, because it definitely involves some stealth of you going into even companies and infiltration. But then there's fighting techniques, like the developer showed them using, I forget what type of string material it was, but they attached some kind of ball for like a very quick melee weapon.
Yeah.
And I think it's those levels of like DIY detail that really make this game fascinating to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, well, it also got me because with the first cinematic intro, they played Spaz by NERD, and I was like, I hate y'all. Y'all know exactly what y'all doing.
Yeah.
Now, quick rant for the next game. They decided to show, I don't even want to call it show. They showed Mass Effect Andromeda.
They showed what they did with Mass Effect Andromeda was people were complaining that they didn't have a trailer. Still, after all this time, with the game supposed to be like early next year, it's supposed to be coming out early next year. So what they did was they said, "Ooh, here's a video of people in the studio making the game." Not any actual gameplay, except for like maybe a dude walking, and there's somebody waking up. That's not gameplay. That's like a CGI thing. So I'm just like, literally nothing can shake my enthusiasm for this game. But stop playing with me. Stop playing with me with these fake trailers. This is not a trailer.
Yeah. I'm not gonna touch it. Just that was disrespectful.
Here's a video of motion capture.
Hey guys, we're still making the game. We know you're making the game. We know it. I'm aware you're making the game. Stop showing me that you're making the game. Why would you show me that you're making the game? I have faith that you're making the game. Just show me more of the game. How about that?
It's like, I believe you. I don't think you're lying. It's fine.
Also, Sean, did you want to talk about We Happy Few?
Yeah, so there's a game coming called We Happy Few. It sort of looks like a new version of BioShock, like the first two BioShocks, the super creepy, weird ones that I'm way too scared to play, but I always tell myself that I'm going to play them anyway until they come out, and then I don't. But basically, what this game is, it's about like a dystopian future where everyone takes these things called joy pills that make them happy. They make them accepting of everything that's going on around them. Well, in the trailer, you see the main character deciding not to take this pill, and all of a sudden he becomes aware of how bizarre and terrifying and just like effed up this world is, and that is just sort of where the game goes. It's this guy trying to escape from this terrible world and figuring out, you know, what
Yeah.
what's really real. And I don't know why that's appealing to me. I think I just like creepy stuff if I'm not playing it, so I'm probably just gonna watch somebody else play it on Twitch. But it looks fun. But it looks fun to me. So.
Which would be a good idea time to promote our Twitch. We do have a Twitch, you guys. Eventually, we will have games being streamed and us playing them and being scared of said games. And Twitch. TV.
Oh, maybe we can play. Maybe we can play Until Dawn, and we can watch Troy kill the main character from Mr. Robot.
It was everyone's decision. We were all in that room. We made the same decision.
Troy killed like 4 people in the first 20 minutes.
Anyway,
with Mario Party.
Hilarious. What's this? Overall, this year's E3, it wasn't too shabby. It wasn't like
I thought it was kind of weak.
It was alright. There wasn't
overall.
Could have been better, could have been worse. That's how I can see it.
My takeaway was that, wow, there aren't many games that I want to play until next year. So.
Exactly. So cool. And now for Sound Waves. This is our weekly review of music and a dedication to it. Ethan will take over this week.
So, in rather sad news, this is about Christina Grimmie, the 22-year-old voice contestant was murdered after her performance in Orlando, Florida, just the night before the tragic events of the mass shooting at the Pulse Club. I just wanted to preempt this just so this doesn't seem like a complete divergence. She was actually a very big gamer. Her favorite character, her favorite video game franchise was The Legend of Zelda. She loved Skyrim, Sonic, all that stuff. Even her YouTube account was Zelda X Love 64. So
sorry to interrupt.
She's definitely.
I also read that she was pretty active in the Super Smash Brothers community.
Yes, yeah, she's definitely a Nintendo fan, so we connected on many levels. So this is honestly very tragic news for me personally and many of her fans and, of course, her family. She was a super talented vocalist. I first saw her on The Voice. She was a YouTube star who came on stage, and she absolutely tore the stage down. She had such a stage presence that you can't like teach that. Like, this girl sat in her room and performed to a camera, but then for her to come out on stage like she was born for this, it didn't make sense. And her level of talent is almost incomparable. Her high notes, her beautiful falsetto, everything, the power of it was just so moving to me. On top of that, she was a very down-to-earth and real person. She was very much about the betterment of people and being honest with her own insecurities and wanting to make sure that her fans never felt that way. It was really great to see recognition from other stars and singers like Tori Kelly, Christina Aguilera, Selena Gomez, Alicia Cara, Fifth Harmony, and Meghan Trainor did a tribute for her. That's and cool. Perhaps the biggest name, Quincy Jones, tweeted that essentially she was taken for our time and how talented she was. And I mean, if anything, that's something that I can, and we all can take away from it. I'm a person, as I've said in previous podcasts, that I am a fan of female vocalists, and I like to follow them from the beginning and to see their trajectory into the stratosphere, which I felt like Christina Grimmie was destined for. Mm-hmm. So it definitely hurts kind of seeing that cut short. At the same time, she's been given so much credit, which she so rightly deserves, that I'm just super appreciative. So if I can, to kind of follow suit of what Sean did during the Prince episode, I would actually like to sing a song that Christina Grimmie covered on The Voice by Lil Wayne. It's called How to Love.
Hey.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite song of hers that she's done on The Voice, and what she did to it was once again so moving. So let me hopefully get through this. You had a lot of crooks trying to steal your heart. Never really had luck, couldn't never figure out how to love, how to love. You had a lot of moments that didn't last forever. Now you're in the corner trying to put it together. How to love, how to love. When you were just a youngin', your looks were so precious. Now you've grown up so fly, it's like a blessing. But you can't have a man look at you for 5 seconds without you being insecure. You never credit yourself, so when you got older, it seems like it came back 10 times over. Now you're sitting here in the same corner, looking through all your thoughts, looking over your shoulder. You had a lot of crooks trying to steal your heart. Never really had luck, couldn't never figure out how to love, how to love. You had a lot of moments that didn't last forever. Now you're in the corner trying to put it together. How to love, how to love. So that was for.
Woo! Thank you. That was fantastic.
Thank you. I'm a little insecure about my voice, but I wanted to do that for Christina Grimmie, and it would be awesome if everyone could just check out some of her videos. She's just super talented. I haven't really been able to listen to her since. It's been very hard for me, and I've dealt with Amy Winehouse, Prince, but I think it's because of how this kind of went down. It's just been super difficult for me. But I plead for everyone to please check out this girl because she is amazing and she's an angel.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Excuse me. Just to lighten it. You guys will never catch me singing on here because I do not have the voice that Ethan and Sean have. Stevie Wonder could pass right now, knock on wood. And
Troy has a better voice than he knows that he does, though.
He's lying. Okay,
we're going to make this happen. Troy's going to sing.
All right, and now for Technologic with Humphrey.
All right, so next up is our Technologic segment where I share fun tech stories that happened in the past week. First up, at the Spanish National Research Council, researchers have developed an exoskeleton that allows children with spinal muscular atrophy to walk. The disease, which causes muscles to deteriorate, often makes it difficult for sufferers to get around, which makes the ability to live a long and healthy life very challenging. So this exoskeleton has the potential to completely change these children's lives, which is absolutely amazing. I love kids, and kids deserve the best.
That's awesome.
So the device attaches to a wearer's legs and torso and mimics normal muscle function. This means that in addition to giving children the massively underappreciated ability to walk, it also moves these kids one step closer to being the superheroes that they so deserve to be.
Yes.
And this past Monday, Apple held its annual WWDC conference, and in contrast to the usual parade of white men at this and most other major tech conferences, Apple decided to make a real effort at improving representation on its biggest stage with a number of female presenters, one of whom might just have become their biggest new name. Bozoma St. John, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I apologize. I'm going to say it several times, so if I'm not saying it correctly, I apologize. So Bozoma St. John, an Apple Music executive and one of the first black women to ever step foot on the WWDC stage, took to the stage to present a newly redesigned Apple Music, and in breaking the norm, she brought the fun back to tech. To show off some of Apple Music's new features, Bozoma chose the iconic song Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang in an attempt to give the room some life and joy, and the massive, awkward, and uncomfortable, mostly white male onlookers refused to join in the utter shameless fun. So, Bozoma announced, I could be getting it, I could get my strut on up and down the stage, but it's too early for that. I don't want to hurt you guys.
I love her already.
I want to watch this now.
Classic black woman statement. I love it. In the tech industry, which is a place where people like her are assumed to not exist at all, Bozoma proved to the world that we are here, our needs matter, and perhaps most importantly, that tech is freaking cool and it should be fun, and we should allow ourselves to have fun with it. Fun fact: during her time at Pepsi-Cola North American Division, Bozoma reportedly convinced Beyonce to change the whole world with her 2013 Super Bowl halftime performance. So thank you for that. You are dope. And I'm just really, really looking forward to seeing her do more bigger things in the public, because that is where she belongs. She's amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go watch this now.
Yes.
Go check
As
it
am
out.
I.
Alright. Now it's time for everyone's section. The section that's the section of Bounce of the Blerds!
Hey!
Hiya!
This is our question of the week section. What? Somebody fight you, even?
Yeah, it's all the battle, right?
Yes. This is our question of the week section. Keep it very easy, very calm, very short. If any of you, that's you and you, the two I'm speaking to, were to have to survive in the zombie apocalypse and it was themed off a video game, which video game would it be and why?
Plants vs. Zombies. That's
good.
Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies.
Yes,
so again, I love zombies. I have read the Zombie Survival Guide several times. I have a pretty good idea of how to survive in a zombie apocalypse, and truth is, as prepared as I think I am, I would probably be like one of the first people to die, because I freaking panic. I freaking panic when I get a situation that I'm too prepared for. So I'm just gonna be real with myself and say I'm not gonna make it by in a Dead Rising or a Resident Evil. I'm gonna pick Plants vs. Zombies because, first of all, you hang out in your house and you have your mutant plants battle the zombies. And if the zombies manage to get past these mutant plants that are adorable, might I add, then the zombies just enter your house. In which case, I still have a chance of surviving because I guess I sort of do know how to make it. I do pretend at home that zombies are happening outside and like imagine what I would do. I live by myself, so people will never see this, and this is very embarrassing. Somebody else go.
Yeah, you were starting to spiral a little bit. So I would choose, unsurprisingly, the Walking Dead video game, and here's why: because I feel like I would be able to survive the Walking Dead. They move super slow. For one, and I'm super fast. I feel like if need be, I could just continue running for the rest of my life. Like in order to survive, I just like wouldn't stop. So, so ultimately, I feel like the show is really good. It's very compelling, great character arcs and story development. When it comes to zombies, they do not scare me. I feel like I can take them.
Either you like 120 wet. Like 120 pounds. What are you talking about?
Okay, yes, that is absolutely a fact. But as I said, I can run. So like, if there's not a little girl zombie, then I can just run.
Okay, right? Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna pull an Ethan Mulligan. And do the out there choice, because I was going to go to the easy one, but I was like, no, this was kind of cool. I would live in the world of Crackdown 2, which is technically a zombie game. You are a super soldier police officer that can jump high at very tall buildings, run at super speeds, pick up heavy cars, and have every type of weapon known to man to destroy zombies. So technically that's cheating, but it's also the funnest one of the three you chose. I wouldn't choose The Walking Dead because the story makes me cry.
Same.
Can't do it. Shamus, what did you choose again?
Plants vs. Zombies.
That's actually pretty fun.
Beat
I will
it.
give you that.
Exactly.
Beat it. The Walking Dead one had me crying at the end of it, and I can't. Like the whole point of the Walking Dead game is depending on people, and I'm not. I'm good. They have to build relationships and then
And things like that.
Call
Thanks. I got stuff to do, Lord.
Cool.
Hard out here.
Tell us which ones you guys love in our Facebook, and then we'll just we'll comment about it. But otherwise, this is another.
If you choose mine, I will tell you who dies at the end of the last season.
I do want to say the only reason that the Walking Dead game would be like reasonable is because Clementine is in it and she's adorable and I love her and I want to protect her from the zombies.
But if she ever a time where she died, I would like F this game. I don't want to. So
Troy, that's rude. Clementine is perfect. She will never die.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Her name is Clementine. Okay, this is another successful week of Blerd Culture. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, like us on Facebook, and rate our show on iTunes. Our official YouTube page will be up pretty soon, and our Facebook is going to be our regular news feed to keep you up with all the cool Blerdtainment stuff going on. Also putting funny shits on Instagram now. I just put up one today as well. And quickly, just wanted to say this at the beginning of the show, but rest in peace to the folks at the Pulse shooting that happened this week earlier. Us here at Blerd Culture are big supporters of the LGBTQ community, and I just think it's insane that AR-15s are legal after so much tragedy and shooting have been done with that same weapon over a decade now of crazy mass shootings. So definitely want to that we stand with Orlando.
I also want to say that self-hate is a dangerous thing. That man was seen at that club several times over 3 years, and the fact that he got to a place where he hated himself so much to do something so vile makes me sick. And we really need to get to a place, and not just this country, but this world, where we can accept each other as we are, and be happy with that.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, and just the whole blaming one person does one crazy thing, and we want to blame a bunch of people for it.
That too, because that is no better.
There's one insane guy, and it's his fault for being that idiotic.
Absolutely.
We have to look at the issue at large, and it is systemic. It is within society, and it's something that we need to root out. It is not one type of person. It is not a group of people. It is humanity as a whole, and we just need to do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do better.
Do better.
Do better.
Model the talk. Do better.
Do better.
We love y'all though.
Yeah.
We love y'all and bless the families that are dealing with this closest to home. And hope y'all get through it. But this is Troy signing off.
This is Ethan. Peace, love, and soul.
All right, Doc.
Oh God, this is Sean. I was gonna sing the rest of Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, but I'm not going to anymore. So I'll see. We'll talk to you guys later.
This has been a karaoke behind episode. We're good.
I got a girl named Sue.